Hello, guys, it's me, Morgan, and today I'm joined by the artist formerly known as Cupcake, Queen of Virginity. When did you start doing drag? Do you remember?
Not precisely, actually, but I do think like two and a half years ago, up until like a few months before I competed in Miss Cuddy. Before that, I think I would just do it like once a month.
What year was that you were in Miss Cuddy? 2019?
A long, long time ago. 2019, yeah. But hey, I mean, it's still raining, so
Yeah, really?
yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you. They just can't find anyone else. I love makeup.
Were you into makeup
Please
before?
sponsor me. I was actually
before doing drag.
yes. Not so much, but like as a little kid, I was just really interested in makeup, and I would always like do my mom's makeup and like play with her hair and so
Cute.
on. So and I used to draw a lot when I was a kid as well. So I feel like it kind of,
sure.
it kind of like mixes together.
Yeah.
What's your favorite part of like doing actually painting your own face?
I mean, like, I find the preparation quite satisfying because it feels very like, I'm like taking care of myself and being like,
Right?
giving my, like, moisturizing and all that stuff. I enjoy that.
I love the preparation part. So, okay, here's the thing. I have like a whole routine that I do before I actually start getting ready. First of all, I have to eat. I have to like sleep really well. I jerk off before I get in drag because I don't want to be horny in drag because it's not very practical.
Fair.
Well, I shave and then I have a shower and then I do the whole like face routine thing, and then I stand in front of the mirror and I compliment myself and I tell my boyfriend to say I love you to me, and then I'm ready to go.
That's so nice.
Yes, I think when you feel good out of drag, it kind of really transforms. So I can't wait to be really beautiful today. Believe in yourself. You're beautiful. You're worthy of love. Everybody loves you. I think I feel the most insecure actually when I'm in drag.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Especially after I perform.
Uh-huh.
It took me a long time to really embrace myself and be proud of what I'm doing on stage.
Yeah.
Because I think also when you put a lot like from yourself on stage, it just makes you really vulnerable, and thus it makes you, I think, just very nervous about the kind of reaction that you would receive from people.
Sure.
Yeah, I think when I first started doing drag, although like I obviously used to perform in Lebanon and I studied acting, so like it wasn't anything new to me, but like when I started performing in drag here after my show, I would just run away, I would escape, people would like try to give me compliments and I would just get really nervous because I would think that people are just lying to me to just make me feel like good about myself. But now I want people to lie to me and I want people to tell me I'm good even though I'm not sometimes. So the transformation in it. What are you most insecure about?
In drag? I guess dancing, actually. I don't feel like a dancer, but then I don't try to be, so it works out.
I mean, lucky you, a lot of drag performers are not dancers.
Yeah.
So
What's something that you've done in drag that you're like the most proud of?
therapy session.
Oh, yeah?
Like that show was quite therapeutic for me and such a huge success. And I also discovered like through that show that I am good at hosting and just sort of finding it easy to be vulnerable on stage. Winning Miss Cotty, I guess, is something I'm proud of. It took me a while to be proud of that. I think I was listening to like outside voices a lot rather than actually accept my own success and celebrate it. But I'm over Miss Cotty in the sense of like me winning it. A lot of people like to bring it up to introduce me or be like, oh, this is the winner of Miss Cotty, blah, blah. And I feel like, well, I've done more things after that.
Right.
This is not the only thing that I've accomplished. Do you ever actually imagine yourself on Drag Race? I know, such a silly question. I mean, we get asked this question a lot, but I think like two drag performers can obviously discuss this in a completely different way than.
Right. Maybe if the opportunity were made sense, I guess.
Yeah.
My partner and I have plans, perhaps in the future, to live between here and California.
Oh wow. Okay.
So maybe, I don't know.
Okay.
Drag
Have
Race
you
season
been
27? Who knows?
That's when you're 22.
Yeah.
Have you been to California before?
No, never.
Okay.
So yeah, that's the first step, is to go visit together, which is
Sounds like
intended for later this year.
The more I watch that show, the more I think that I really cannot be on it. I mean, yes, obviously, like, because of the political incorrectness or like the lack of inclusivity.
Yeah.
But also how I think they portray it as like, oh, we have such a diverse cast, you know, drag is very diverse, it has many art forms in it, and like, you know, there's a comedy queen and there's a fashion queen, but I actually, like, when I watch it, I still think like, but this is just not enough. Like, I mean, like, what I think what I do in drag is not really on Drag Race. And I'm not to say that I'm like original or unique or better, you know. My biggest fear would just be like taking myself way too seriously on that show. And also, like, I look at the challenges they do, for example, like acting challenges.
Right.
They're not, you know, they're doing like this sort of like grotesque overacting. As someone who's a trained actor, I'm like, this is all really bad. I mean, some of them probably have potentials, but they tell them to like overact on purpose.
Right.
And
because at the end of the day, it's a TV show and it's supposed to be entertaining. So actually, whether they're good actors or not doesn't really matter. It's that they just want it to be an entertaining process to view. Which I'm not sure that it always is, because those challenges are so bizarre most of the time. I'm just like, what is happening?
But I also understand like that obviously Drag Race can give you so much exposure.
Right. That's really the only reason I think would even consider it, actually.
Look at Bimini. Like, do you see yourself doing drag for a long time?
Who knows? I mean, I would be up for it, but I can imagine that it could also lead to other things that I would want to do more of, or instead. Through the lockdown and doing digital drag, I realized, I really like video editing.
Right.
So that's something, I don't know if I want to become a professional in that necessarily, but it's like, it opened up that avenue, and who knows, maybe something else will come up in the future that through doing drag that I realize, I really like this and I want to do that more. How about you? Do you see yourself doing drag in 20 years?
I don't see myself living in 20 years, Mama. Unless I'm in Spain. I'm not really sure, to be honest. Probably not. I think I would just like implement drag in my performances. I think I definitely want to like establish myself as a performance artist, like slash like theater maker, whatever. Drag is not like a persona for me. It's just literally who I am.
Yeah.
So it's part of me. I just don't really think I would have the same patience to put up with like not getting money, shitty working conditions.
Yeah.
I mean, above all that, like performing to drunk people. I don't think I can entertain drunk people unless I'm drunk myself.
You studied acting, basically, right?
Yeah, I actually studied theater. I mean, it was just like a lot of like performing arts. But yeah, the main focus was actually classical stage acting.
But then you discovered drag once you moved here to Berlin, is that right?
I mean, to be honest, like when I look back at my photos, like when I was at uni and you know, when we had to wear like stage makeup, I would be like the first person to do my entire face.
Yeah.
It finally all came into, it all like appeared clear to me when I got like, I had a surgery here and I was in bed for like 2 months.
Oh, wow.
And I started watching Drag Race.
Okay.
And I was like, oh, that's quite interesting. I would like to try that. Before that, I was terrified by drag queens. I remember I watched like Drag Race in Lebanon one time because my friend like made me do it, and I was terrified. I was terrified by Alaska. I was really scared of Alaska.
Sure.
and I think people should be.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
yeah, and then I started doing it. In the beginning, I think the performing side of it was what's more interesting for me. Being interested in makeup, more in fashion, and like putting a whole concept together. I like the idea of putting a concept together, or like being given a concept and then translate it through makeup and costumes and so on.
Right.
I don't think I'm a fashion queen or would want to be.
That's funny. You don't think of yourself as a fashion queen. I think of you as very fashionable. But
you.
like, I mean, I literally wear stuff that I find on the street. That's my drag.
I would like to be stylish out of drag as well. But I actually was just thinking about this the other day, and I realized that I sometimes feel like I am not entitled to be stylish out of drag.
Oh.
I grew up really poor,
Okay.
and the only times we would actually like buy new clothes is on holiday. Like the Eid after Ramadan. Up until like a few years ago, like I was just like given clothes by my exes and friends all the time, so I never really bought my own clothes. So I was thinking about it the other day, and I was like, you know, when I moved houses and I was like going through my closet, I was like, I really would like to express myself and my identity through what I wear, but I always feel like I'm not like, I don't deserve it.
Okay.
You know, I don't deserve to buy nice clothes or something like that.
Interesting. Yeah. What are some of your like inspirations then for fashion or just drag in general or makeup?
I think in the beginning I was really inspired by like clown makeup and colors and white face,
Yeah.
and I think this is probably also where Cupcake came from. It just really occurred to me, like when people call me Cupcake now, I don't really feel like it's me. That person is like someone else right now, and I'm more mature, I guess, I hope.
I guess this is kind of the elephant in the room. You started off your drag career as Cupcake, and you've always had the Instagram handle Queen of Virginity, right?
Yes, actually, even before I started doing drag, I was really into, because I had Tumblr before. Tumblr girl. I was really into like coming up with like creative like names or like creative like handles, and my Tumblr was Pregnant Jesus. And then Queen of Virginity actually came from the fact that I used to get slut shamed a lot when I first like came out and like would hang out with other gay boys. And so it was just kind of like a joke, like something like a bit ironic that I did back then. I was like, oh, I'm gonna call myself Queen of Virginity.
But gay boys slut shaming each other, can you imagine such a thing?
It's interesting. I feel like this is something that I definitely never like reflected on properly. Especially also, I don't know if you've experienced that, but this whole like bottom shaming, top shaming,
Right.
like, you know, if you're a Twinkie and you're small, then you can never.
Right.
At least that's how it was in Lebanon. And like when I would like, you know, talk to people and I would like express interest in topping, they would just be like, they would just laugh at me and they would like really mock me. And like for a long time, for years, I just didn't really think I could do it.
Yeah.
Obviously people like have grown out of these like stereotypes a bit.
Okay.
But yeah, you do still get like, I think a lot of people assume like that I'm just a bottom.
Yeah.
And like, I mean, I love bottoming, so I don't care much anymore. Like I don't get defensive, and I don't think that it's insulting in any way, unless I'm interested in the person and I want to go to bed with that person, and I would obviously clarify. But what's interesting is my friend and I were talking the other day in Spain about how we don't know much about each other when we go to bed. The only thing that we ask most of the time, so like cis gay men, so the only thing is like, who's the top, who's the bottom, but you never talk about like what your triggers are, what your boundaries are.
Yeah.
And this often leads us to like not be able to say no, not be able to like say what we really like, because we're just afraid that the other person might not like it.
Yeah. What if I was just like, and I'm done? This is the look.
There we go. Same. Do you do your eyes first and then
Yeah, because
Well-
I do this really big eye pretty much, and so much of it's going to be black. I don't see the point in doing all the blending and stuff, and then I just have to do foundation everywhere else.
Do you feel like the Berlin drag scene is quite cliquey?
Yeah, to some extent. I think there's definitely a division between like the German drag scene and the international drag scene, I guess. It seems.
Yeah, that's quite obvious.
Yeah.
And it's sad. I find it sad, but I also understand it because
Yeah.
I think the reason behind doing drag is just quite different. I think I understand that for the German queens, it's sort of like also reclaiming a lot of things from their culture and their past.
Yeah.
So drag serves a different purpose for them.
Totally.
And I also think maybe sometimes it's like language barrier for some.
For sure. But in both directions, because of course there are international performers here who don't speak German, or
that's true, yeah.
like I speak German, but I can't imagine doing drag in German. I don't want to try really.
I speak German, but I also find it very intimidating, like when I see like a group of German queens to jump in and then, you know, because also like I don't understand most of the references they're talking about or the humor.
Yeah.
I also think in the drag scene, a lot of people are afraid to sort of like confront each other maybe. Like there's a lot of like gossips that go, you know, behind the scenes, but like
Okay.
because it's also such a small scene. I don't really like know how I feel myself about, because I don't actually have a lot of like friends, like close ones in the drag scene, so but sometimes I also think it's nice because I think my group of friends is just quite separate from my work.
Have you ever played with like masculine drag?
No.
Are you interested?
Yes. Yeah, I am. It's just a matter of like finding the energy. Would you ever consider getting work done? Not saying that you need it.
I have not considered it, no. How about you?
I've always wanted to get a nose job. It's very common in Lebanon. I think people just like got used to this face right now, so like who am I gonna fool? And I also like, I don't know, I mean I also realize that obviously like idealizing small noses is ultimately also idealizing white people's small noses. So I mean I make jokes a lot about my nose, but I think most of the times I'm quite comfortable with my nose. I would just get like fillers, I guess, eventually. I don't know.
Yes?
You okay? Oh my god. Why do you hate yourself so much? Have you ever thought about being part of a collective?
Oh, it's getting faster. Oh my god. I kind of am, I guess.
Okay.
Like,
Which collective?
well, I mean, we don't call ourselves a collective, I suppose. You know Vanessa Jupiter?
Yes.
Like, she adopted me as her as her drag daughter.
Yes. Do they still live in Berlin?
Yeah.
Okay.
And so I was like part of the House of Jupiter. And that's why I have the name Callisto at the end of my name, because Callisto is a moon of Jupiter. Morgan with Callisto. And a couple of the other members had similar,
Is this physics?
like the planet Jupiter. It has moons. One of them is called Callisto.
I thought there was one moon in this world. What?
The Earth has one moon, yeah. You know there are other planets in the solar system.
So each planet has how many moons?
Some of them have none, some have many. And Jupiter has many.
Some of them have none?
Yeah, like
What?
Mercury and
Why
Venus.
Poor?
Stop being poor. Yeah.
I didn't know that. I thought it's just like one sun and one moon and they just like turn around the entire time.
One sun, yes.
Okay.
Multiple planets, several moons.
Was it frustrating for you when you started doing your makeup and you had a lot of like failed trials in the beginning?
Sure. At the time, I thought, oh my god, this is amazing. I'm doing so good with makeup. And I look at the pictures now and I'm like, this is horrible.
Yeah, same.
So, I mean, that's kind of the better way to be, right? Because then at least I was like into it at the time, and then therefore I kept doing it because I thought it could get better still. And now I know like I can still get much better.
I believe in you.
How about, is your partner supportive of your drag?
No. No, I'm just kidding. Yes, very. He's supportive of everything. But I did date people who, in the beginning when I first started doing drag, who was really not into it at all. But I think he just had a lot of issues to deal with himself.
Like internalized homophobia, that kind of thing.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
No, but my boyfriend is just incredible, honestly. Like, and it's just so nice to be. I mean, my friends also like. I mean, I've only been with my boyfriend for a year now. But before that, like, it's just my friends who were extremely supportive of me and would show up to my shows all the time. And when Persia and I started doing drag together, she was also really supportive of me. I mean, I started a tiny bit before she did. When I think about like who supported me in the beginning, or like when I think about where I am right now, I think of who supported me in the beginning, and that meant a lot to me.
Yeah.
But yes, thinking about that, it was really very frustrating to me because I guess we all know that Berlin is very flaky. And you get a lot of people who just be like, oh yeah, I'll come. But right now, I mean, now that I have a lot of bookings and I perform regularly, I just don't really care much who... I also like, I wouldn't do the effort to like commit to like sending the details to everyone and be like, hey, come to the...
Yeah.
I announce it on social media and then bam.
Yeah. So we're going to put on a look, hair and lashes, and we'll be right back. So here we are with the final looks. Ta-da! Thank you so much for joining me.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, it was really fun. Why don't you tell everyone at home where they can find you on the internet, should they so desire?
Yes, I am at Queen of Virginity on Instagram and only on Instagram. So text me, send nudes, book me, send me compliments.
If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. It's absolutely free and there are new videos coming every single week. You can also join me over on Patreon at patreon.com/morganwood. And you can follow me on Instagram and TikTok at morganwoodcallisto, MorganWoodCallisto. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.
I'm not a virgin anymore.